John Howard was Prime Minister in Australia from 1996 to 2007. I would have probably only got this after I had my 2006 MRI that has a false medical report. So this would be the only time that I would have got this between May 2006 and whenever John Howard was not Prime Minister. I don't normally read between the lines when I see newspaper articles, but when I see an international medical journal having a go at the Australian Prime Minister because he's allegedly suffering the politics of fear and neglect associated to research excellence in Australia, well, that leads me to believe this medical journal is upset because the Prime Minister's not supporting illegal medical research like what I've experienced in Australia since the 1990s. Where my pointer finger is where the implant, one of the implants went in 1997. Where my little finger is, where that brown spot is where it actually feels like it's been burning. And at the moment of this picture, where my index finger is, I can feel the implant tapping underneath the skin. This is where they put one of the implants. I don't know how they got it there, but I do know it started with a lump and then it developed a redness and then it started to create this the skin peeling. It's not itchy, it's not psoriasis. It does feel like there's something in there and it feels like it's pushing my bones out of place. I can feel the restriction in my neck because of it's there. There's a lump there. And when I was impacted with a force of energy on the 17th of November 2005, that caused me severe physical injuries to my brain and started the enlivenment of all the implants inside me. Where the force of energy impacted was right on this specific very spot, and then went up into my brain, zapped around my brain, then tore down my spine into my hands and feet. And that's when my implants were enlivened, evidently through the telephone communication system, I would imagine, because that's where how implants are communicated by these days. When I say I can feel it, what I mean is when I put my head down and then put it up again, I can feel whatever that is at the back of my neck catching, and it causes quite a lot of pain. This is a letter I received that looks like it's dated 24th of April 2010 from the Chief Executive Officer of the South Australian Health Department. I wrote to them to complain that a radiology report that I received on the 5th of May 2006 didn't identify a very large mass of infection next to my brain in my cochlear region, right? And this is the response, the absurd response that they said. And on the basis of me complaining about radiology images not matching the radiology reports, that was one of the reasons that the same health department illegally imprisoned me in 2014 under the Mental Health Act because I complained that the reports didn't match the images. That particular those orders from government psychiatrists were reversed in October. And ever since, because the government has refused to admit responsibility for making this political crime a political fact, they've been criminally defaming me as mentally ill ever since. This is to show to the best of my ability the presence or the past presence of illegal silicone in my face by people who'd medically assaulted me and disfigured me intentionally. Apart from the fact that there's something in the tip of my nose that's created the extra bulk there. I'm looking in a mirror, so it's not that easy. That feels sort of like liquid in there. It's real spongy, like liquid. You see how that squishes like that? It's also caused my nose to drop because of the weight of it, and it's I think it's caused a deviated septum in there. There's bulk in my nose here. They've injected silicone in there. And you could tell from the vast difference between the bridge of my nose is very thin, and then it comes very fat there. Here is where the physician, I believe, that was responsible for, partially responsible for medically mutilating me, Mohammed R. Ahmed, it's Rida Zidinvan or something, but I can't say his second name, starts with letter R. He cauterized it a couple of times with liquid nitrogen, and it's left a scar there. You feel a slight bumpy scar. I've no idea if you could see it, but it was weeping the liquid silicone out from the pores of my skin, and he said that's evidence of cancer, which is a lot of bullshit. But all this here, that's from the silicone. I used to be able to feel my cheekbone directly through there. I had virtually no muscle over it. I could feel the bone, and now I can feel something's in between the bone and the skin. It's not supposed to be there. It just feels squidgy. Something squidgy in there that shouldn't be there. And all this here is where they injected the silicone to try and give the impression that I had a full face, because I have naturally sunken cheeks there, naturally sunken. You can see the blood sort of to the skin because it's bright red as soon as I touch it. And that's all from silicone. None of that should be there. I've never been fat. That's the skin is stretched from the silicone. Or there's still silicone there. I'm pretty sure there's probably still silicone there. It's probably been put in some sort of pocket because there's no granular lumps and no granuloma or whatever they call it. So it's probably been put into a pocket. They probably inserted the pocket. From what they told me, they inserted the pocket and then inflated the pocket from the outside. So that's what I think they've done. And this is all from the silicone injection, all of it. And it's migrated down under here. And this part, that's silicone there too. That herniates underneath my bone and between my muscles when I yawn. I try to get that up because I'm looking in the mirror. So that's all silicone there. It all herniates. And you'll see the difference. There's silicone in my forehead as well. Like they've put stuff in here. Like people with blue eyes like mine, their eyelids naturally droop, but there's silicone actually in my forehead as well, causing that. But yeah. The basic difference, and they've put something into my chin too, because I used to have a slightly upturned chin, and now it's pointing down most of the time. And yeah, the difference, you can tell the difference when I put my head back, the gravity pulls the silicone back, and you can see it's sort of not there. But another way to tell, I don't know if I disappear then, is like that. It's like I'm, what do they call that? Dehydrated. I'm not. It's from the silicone. Because the skin isn't responsive as it used to be. It doesn't return. There's no deep grooves of, what do they call them, wrinkles. I'm nearly 70. I'm supposed to have lots of wrinkles. You can see there's no deep grooves of wrinkles. It's because the skin's all been padded out with silicone, preventing the wrinkles. So, you know, like I've got these little tiny wrinkles from the silicone, but there's no deep wrinkles like people my age have because of all the silicone. And the same's on this side, although I think you can probably see it more because it wrinkles more on this side. I'm in my small room where there's the best light, I think, in the house. But yeah, that's sort of the same. It's the same sort of reaction. It's all silicone there. You can see if I push it up, so it'll poke into my eye and it hurts. That's how much crap there is in there. And people, the rumour that they've spread around about me, like once again, I'm 70, look at my skin. I'm supposed to have deep wrinkles, and I don't. But I've got all this silicone shit there that looks worse, I think, than deep wrinkles. Yeah, and the rumours that they spread about me is my face looks like this because they reckon I'm 15 years younger than I actually am, and that my skin is like this because I've been a drug addict or an alcoholic all my life, which is total shit. So they put this in here injected this in my nose to give me a round nose, but because I've got a slight arrow-shaped nose, all it happened to do was pull it down and make me look like a bit of a witch, because they've put stuff in there and put stuff in here, big chunk in here, and it's just pulled my face down. So now I don't even look. Last time I saw my mother, which was about 10 years after I'd seen her the last time before that, she said to me, "Who are you?" She didn't recognise me. Literally, she wasn't saying it to be nasty. She didn't recognise me. My own mother.